Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to use the fabric scissors. So what is really important in textiles is to make sure that you understand the different pieces of equipment. So these are always used for paper. And these are always used for fabric. Now, if you use these fabric scissors to cut out paper, what it does is make them really blunt. So when you come to cut out fabric, it's not going to do it very accurately. So it's really important that you use the correct piece of equipment for the correct piece of material. Okay, so you've already pinned your template to the fabric in the corner and you've got your pins. Now this is why it would be important to keep the pins on the inside of the template, because if you've sort of pinned like that, you're not going to be able to cut through. I think that's steel. So make sure that your pins are on the inside of the template. Now, there's a few things about how to hold the fabric scissors correctly, and especially when you're walking around the room as well. So if you have to move from one place to another, the way that you should hold the scissors is the blade in your hand down by your side, okay? Because if you drop them, they're not going to hurt anybody else. You don't hold them up like this or anything because it could be dangerous, okay? The way you hold them is really important as well. If you look, you can see that there's a round hole and then maybe like a sort of more oval shaped hole, and that is for your thumb and your fingers to go inside. If you're holding them upside down, you actually get a lower level. Okay, so we're making sure that we're holding our fabric scissors correctly. There's another few tips for correctly cutting fabric. Your scissors should never leave the table where possible, okay? And you should use the whole length of the blade whenever you're cutting. So what I'd advise is probably standing up is going to give you more control over what you're doing. So like with the pinning, I would keep my left hand flat, and then I'm opening my scissors quite broadly so that I can use the whole length of the blade, and I'm cutting right next to the template. Okay, so it actually should be closer than that. So really try and get on as close as you can. Take your time with it. Try not to cut the paper, because obviously that is going to blunt the scissors. So I'm keeping my scissors on the table. I'm using the whole length of the blade, and I'm sort of rotating my hand round. Now, obviously circular shapes and curvy shapes are going to be more difficult to cut. But that doesn't mean avoid trying to do them. If you want to sort of remove a bit of material, if that's going to make it slightly easier for you, but obviously don't waste it. So the more controlled and the more confident with cutting accurately you are, the higher the level you will achieve. And if there's some wee bits that are sort of still in your way, try and keep it on the table and remove those extra bits. Okay, and that is how you use fabric scissors correctly.